A thriving English settlement on the coast of what would become North Carolina suddenly vanishes without a trace. No bodies, no signs of battle, just a single word carved into a fence post, CROATOAN. This isn't the plot of a horror movie. It's America's oldest unsolved mystery, the lost colony of Roanoke. What happened to these 115 souls who ventured across the Atlantic to build a new life in an unknown world? Let's dive into this fascinating historical puzzle that has baffled experts for over 4 centuries. The historical context: England's race for the New World. The late 16th century was a time of fierce competition between European powers. Spain had already established a powerful presence in the Americas, growing rich from gold and silver. England, under Queen Elizabeth I, was desperate to challenge Spanish dominance. The Queen's favorite, Sir Walter Raleigh, saw an opportunity to establish England's first foothold in North America, while simultaneously creating a base to raid Spanish treasure ships. Talk about killing 2 birds with 1 stone. The first failed attempt, a military disaster. In 1585, Raleigh sponsored the first expedition to Roanoke Island. The settlement party consisted of 100 men, primarily soldiers and explorers, led by Ralph Lane. This first attempt reads like a textbook example of how not to establish a colony. The men, more interested in finding gold than farming, quickly alienated the local CROATOAN and CROATOAN tribes through their aggressive behavior and constant demands for food. Their military commander, Ralph Lane, made things worse by ordering the execution of the powerful Native American chief Wingina, believing, incorrectly, that he was plotting against the settlers. This strategic masterstroke predictably led to the complete breakdown of relations with the local tribes. The colonists, who had neglected to plant sufficient crops, now found themselves facing starvation. The situation became so desperate that when Sir Francis Drake stopped by for a casual visit in 1586, the entire colony abandoned ship and returned to England. They left behind a small contingent of 15 men to maintain England's claim to the area, though these men were never seen again. Not exactly the glorious beginning of English America that Raleigh had envisioned. The second attempt, a bold new strategy. In 1587, Raleigh tried again, but with a completely different approach. Instead of sending military men, he organized a proper civilian colony. John White was appointed governor, leading 115 English settlers, including 17 women and 11 children. This time, they brought farmers, carpenters, and other skilled workers necessary for building a sustainable settlement. The expedition carried another significant passenger, John White's pregnant daughter, Eleanor Dare. On August 18, 1587, she gave birth to Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the Americas. The birth was seen as a powerful symbol of the colony's potential for growth and permanence. Little did they know that Virginia would become part of one of history's greatest mysteries. Life in the colony: challenges and early warning signs. The surviving records from John White's brief time at the colony paint a picture of both hope and hardship. The settlers quickly built homes, restored the structures left by the previous expedition, and began planting crops. However, they faced immediate challenges. They arrived too late in the growing season to establish proper crops. Their relationship with the native tribes was complicated by the previous colony's actions. Their intended destination had been Chesapeake Bay, but their ship's pilot refused to take them further. Essential supplies were running dangerously low. The fatal supply run, a 3-year delay. By late 1587, the situation had become critical. The colony desperately needed supplies and additional settlers. John White, despite his reluctance to leave his family, including his newborn granddaughter, agreed to return to England for help. The colonists promised that if they moved during his absence, they would carve their destination into a tree, adding a cross if they left under duress. White's return to England coincided with one of the most critical moments in English history. The Spanish Armada was threatening invasion, and Queen Elizabeth I had ordered all ships to remain in England for defensive purposes. White made desperate attempts to return, but was blocked by weather, pirates, and naval restrictions. What was supposed to be a few months' journey stretched into 3 years. The mysterious disappearance. When White finally returned in 1590, he found an eerie ghost town. The colony was completely deserted, the buildings dismantled. The word CROATOAN was carved into a fence post, and CRO was found etched into a nearby tree. Most intriguingly, there was no cross symbol, suggesting the colonists hadn't left under attack. White's journal entry from that day is heartbreaking. I greatly joyed that I had found a certain token of their being at CROATOAN. Yet when I came to the place where they were left in sundry houses, I found the houses taken down and a great part of them paled about as aforesaid. But I found 5 chests that had been carefully hidden and buried, which had been broken up and much of the goods spoiled. Modern archaeological discoveries. Recent archaeological work has brought new evidence to light. Excavations on Hatteras Island, historical CROATOAN, have uncovered fascinating artifacts, 16th century English coins, Tudor-era pottery shards, a signet ring possibly linked to the colonists, and remains of European-style structures. In 2015, researchers at the British Museum made a breakthrough discovery using imaging technology on a 16th century map. Hidden markings appear to show 2 inland fort symbols, possibly indicating where the colonists relocated. These findings lend credence to the theory that the settlers split into multiple groups. The leading theories: what really happened. The integration theory. Archaeological and historical evidence suggests that at least some colonists integrated with the CROATOAN tribe on Hatteras Island. Later, European explorers reported seeing Native Americans with gray eyes and European features. In 1709, English explorer John Lawson wrote about meeting Hatteras Indians who claimed to have white ancestors and could talk in a book, the split colony theory. Recent evidence suggests the colonists may have split into multiple groups. Some likely went to CROATOAN Island, while others may have attempted to reach the Chesapeake Bay area or moved inland to the site marked on the mysterious map. This theory explains the organized dismantling of the settlement and the distribution of English artifacts across multiple sites. The hostile takeover theory. Some historians argue that Spanish forces or hostile Native American tribes may have captured the colonists. However, the careful dismantling of the settlement and lack of battle evidence make this less likely. Spanish records from the period make no mention of attacking or capturing the colony. The failed migration theory. Another possibility is that the colonists attempted to relocate to their original destination in the Chesapeake Bay, but perished en route. The journey would have been treacherous, especially for a group including women and children, with limited supplies and possibly hostile natives along the way. Legacy and contemporary relevance. The lost colony of Roanoke remains America's original mystery, a story that continues to captivate audiences more than 4 centuries later. It represents more than just a historical puzzle. It's a testament to the extraordinary risks taken by early colonists and the complex relationships between European settlers and Native Americans. The story has influenced countless books, documentaries, and archaeological investigations. Each year, thousands of visitors flock to the Fort Raleigh National Historic Site on Roanoke Island, where the outdoor drama The Lost Colony has been performed since 1937, making it America's longest-running outdoor drama. The mystery of Roanoke teaches us valuable lessons about the importance of cultural understanding, the challenges of establishing new settlements, and the thin line between survival and disaster in unfamiliar territories. As we continue to uncover new evidence and technologies advance, we may one day solve this centuries-old mystery. Until then, the Lost Colony remains a fascinating reminder that sometimes history's greatest stories are the ones that remain unfinished. Remember, next time your Amazon delivery is a day late, just be grateful you're not waiting for John White's supply run. That one's about 433 years overdue, and counting.